The week of May 11th in Genoa City is not just intense, it's dangerous. Secrets are surfacing, loyalties are cracking, and every single move feels like it could explode at any moment. And it all begins with one woman who never plays small. Phyllis Summers. In a dimly lit corner of the city, Phyllis is seen stepping into a tense meeting with Michael Baldwin. The atmosphere is cold, controlled, but underneath it, there's pressure building like a storm ready to break. Michael assumes he already knows why she's here. He thinks she's desperate. He thinks she's cornered. But Phyllis Summers is never predictable. Instead of begging for help or negotiating a simple escape plan, she shocks him with something completely different, something calculated. She's not here to avoid prison. She's here to make a deal that flips the entire game. A deal that could change alliances in Genoa City forever. Michael pauses, clearly caught off guard. Because whatever Phyllis is offering, it's not just information, it's leverage. Dangerous leverage. And the worst part? It sounds like she's been planning this longer than anyone realizes. Meanwhile, across town, tension is rising inside the Newman world. Nick Newman is acting different. Too quiet. Too defensive. Too unstable. And Adam Newman notices it immediately. There's a confrontation brewing, sharp and uncomfortable. Adam doesn't sugarcoat anything, he looks Nick straight in the eye and asks the question no one wants to say out loud. Is he using again? The air goes still. Nick's reaction is immediate, but not convincing. His body language shifts. His words tighten. He pushes back, but there's something in his voice that doesn't fully land. Denial, or damage control? Adam doesn't look satisfied. In fact, he looks more certain than ever that something is seriously wrong. But Nick refuses to break. Not here. Not now. Not even with everything collapsing around him, including the rising threat of Matt Clark returning to Genoa City. And that name alone changes everything. Because if Matt Clark is truly back, nothing is safe anymore. Not the Newman family. Not the Abbott Alliance. Not anyone. And just when things feel like they can't get more unstable, the scene cuts to something even more disturbing. Two names that should never be in the same room. Patty Williams and Matt Clark. When their eyes meet, it's not random. It's not accidental. It's recognition, and something darker. Patty looks at him like she's been waiting for this moment. Matt turns slowly, studying her like he's trying to remember something buried deep in the past. But there's nothing safe about this connection. Because when two unpredictable minds collide, the result is never control. It's chaos. And in Genoa City, chaos always finds its victims. As tensions continue to rise in Genoa City, the next wave of chaos begins to take shape, and this time, it's not just about secrets, it's about survival. Phyllis Summers is still at the center of the storm. Her conversation with Michael Baldwin doesn't end with confusion, it deepens into suspicion. Michael is trying to read her intentions, but Phyllis is staying one step ahead, almost like she's controlling the rhythm of the entire exchange. Every word she says feels intentional. Every pause feels calculated. And Michael slowly starts realizing something unsettling. This isn't a request. It's a power move. Phyllis is offering something that doesn't just help herself, it could shift legal pressure, expose hidden truths, and possibly drag more than one powerful name into danger. But the biggest question remains. What is she really holding back? Because Phyllis Summers never shows her full hand in the first round. Meanwhile, Nick Newman's situation is becoming harder to ignore. The tension between him and Adam Newman escalates after the confrontation. Adam is not backing down, he's watching closely, analyzing every reaction, every hesitation, every defensive response. And what he sees only strengthens his concern. Nick isn't acting like himself. There's fatigue in his voice. There's pressure behind his eyes. And there's something unspoken, something buried. Adam presses again, more direct this time. Less patient. More serious. But Nick shuts it down fast. Too fast. almost like he's protecting something he doesn't want exposed. And in the Newman world, secrecy is never safe for long. Because once suspicion enters the family, it spreads fast, and it destroys everything in its path. At the same time, a darker energy is building elsewhere in Genoa City. The name Matt Clark carries weight, dangerous weight. And even though questions remain about who he is now, or what he claims to remember, no one is willing to trust him. Especially not the Newman family. But the real shock comes when Patty Williams enters the picture again. Because something about her reaction to Matt is unsettling. It's not fear. It's not hesitation. It's recognition mixed with obsession. She watches him closely, like she's trying to unlock a memory that never fully healed. And Matt? He doesn't fully reject her presence. Instead, he studies her back. Carefully. Quietly. Almost like he's testing whether she's a threat or an opportunity. And that's when the energy shifts completely. Because when two unstable forces begin to connect, nothing stays predictable. Not intentions. Not loyalties. Not outcomes. The situation in Genoa City is starting to twist in ways nobody fully understands yet. What began as separate conflicts is now slowly connecting, like pieces of a puzzle forming a much darker picture. And at the center of it all, Phyllis Summers is still playing her own game. But this time, even Michael Baldwin is starting to realize something troubling. This isn't just about legal protection. It's about control. Phyllis is not reacting to events, she is shaping them. Every sentence she delivers feels like it has a hidden layer underneath. She isn't just trying to protect herself, she's positioning herself in a way that could force multiple people into difficult choices. And Michael knows it. The problem is, he doesn't know how far she's willing to go. Because with Phyllis Summers, there is always a line. The real question is whether she still recognizes where that line is. Meanwhile, Nick Newman is reaching a breaking point. The pressure from Adam Newman's suspicions is not going away. If anything, it's intensifying. Adam is no longer asking gently. He's observing. Analyzing. Connecting dots that Nick is trying desperately to keep separated. And Nick can feel it. Every conversation now feels like a test he's failing slowly. Every pause from Adam feels heavier than the last. But what makes this even more dangerous is that Nick isn't just dealing with suspicion, he's dealing with something internal. Something he refuses to fully admit. There are moments where he almost slips. Moments where his control looks fragile. But then he pulls it back together just enough to avoid collapse. For now. And then there's Matt Clark. A name that refuses to stay buried. A presence that nobody fully trusts. Even the idea of him being back in Genoa City sends tension through every connected storyline. Because no one knows if he's truly changed, or simply better at hiding who he really is. And that uncertainty is exactly what makes him dangerous. But what no one expects is how quickly he starts to shift the dynamic around him. Because Matt isn't just observing the chaos. He seems to be studying it. Like he's trying to understand who is weak, and who can be used. And that brings us straight to Patty Williams. Her connection to Matt is becoming harder to ignore. Every interaction between them carries a strange energy, unpredictable, unstable, almost magnetic in a disturbing way. Patty doesn't approach him like a victim. She doesn't approach him like an enemy either. She approaches him like someone who sees possibility where others see danger. And that is what makes everything worse. Because when two unstable minds begin to align, the results are never simple. They don't cancel each other out. They amplify each other. And in the background of all of this, Genoa City is quietly holding its breath. Because something is building beneath the surface. Something no one fully sees yet. But it's coming closer with every move. The atmosphere in Genoa City is becoming heavier by the hour. What once felt like separate personal struggles is now evolving into something far more interconnected, and far more dangerous. Phyllis Summers continues to push her agenda forward, but now there's a subtle shift in how others are reacting to her. Michael Baldwin is no longer just listening. He's evaluating. Because the way Phyllis is structuring her deal doesn't feel like desperation anymore, it feels like strategy. A carefully built plan designed to corner multiple outcomes at once. And that realization makes Michael cautious. He knows Phyllis doesn't gamble blindly. If she's making a move this bold, it means she already believes she has an advantage no one else sees yet. But the deeper concern is this. If Phyllis is right, then someone else is about to lose control completely. Meanwhile, Nick Newman's situation continues to unravel under pressure. Adam Newman is no longer subtle in his concern. He is watching Nick more closely than ever now, noticing patterns that don't match the man he knows. The hesitation. The defensiveness. The emotional inconsistency. Everything is pointing towards something Nick is trying very hard to deny. But denial doesn't hold forever in Genoa City. Especially not inside the Newman family. And Adam is getting closer to the truth with every interaction. Not through confrontation alone, but through observation. Through silence. Through the things Nick refuses to say. And that silence is becoming louder than any confession. Elsewhere, Matt Clark's presence continues to cast a shadow over everything. Even without fully revealing his intentions, his influence is already being felt. People are reacting differently around him. Trust is weakening. Tension is rising. And uncertainty is spreading. Because no one can clearly define what Matt Clark truly is right now. Victim or manipulator? Reformed or calculating? And that ambiguity is exactly what keeps him dangerous. Then there's Patty Williams. And her connection to Matt is no longer just a passing moment, it's evolving into something more deliberate. Every time they appear in the same space, the energy shifts. Patty watches him like she's trying to reconnect with something broken in her past. And Matt watches her like he's measuring her usefulness in the present. There's no comfort in their interaction. Only curiosity and instability. And that combination rarely ends peacefully. But the real shift begins here. Because behind all these separate threads, something larger is forming. A potential alignment of forces that no one fully anticipated. Not alliances built on trust, but alliances built on necessity. On survival. On opportunity. And when that kind of alignment happens in Genoa City, it doesn't bring stability. It brings escalation. No more slow tension. No more quiet suspicion. At this stage, every storyline is about to collide. And at the center of the storm, Phyllis Summers is making her final push. Her meeting with Michael Baldwin has shifted from negotiation to pressure. Michael can feel it now, this is not a simple deal she's offering. It's leverage wrapped in strategy. Phyllis is positioning herself in a way that forces the entire situation to tip in her favor, no matter who gets caught in the fallout. And the most dangerous part? She looks confident. Too confident. As if she already knows how this ends. But in Genoa City, confidence is often the last thing people feel before everything collapses. Meanwhile, Nick Newman is standing on unstable ground. Adam Newman is closer than ever to uncovering what's really going on, and the pressure is no longer subtle, it's unavoidable. Nick is being cornered emotionally and mentally, even if no one is physically forcing him. Every question from Adam cuts deeper than the last. Every silence feels like exposure waiting to happen. And Nick is struggling to keep his balance. Because whatever he's hiding or trying not to face is starting to leak through. Small moments. Small cracks. But enough to change everything if they widen. And in the Newman family, cracks never stay small for long. They become earthquakes. Then comes the most unpredictable piece of the puzzle, Matt Clark. His presence is no longer just a threat in theory. It's becoming active influence. People are reacting to him differently, and that alone is enough to shift the entire power balance in Genoa City. He isn't forcing anything directly, but his existence alone is creating movement. Fear. Curiosity. Instability. And that makes him dangerous in a way that's harder to fight. Because you can't always attack what you don't fully understand. And right beside him, Patty Williams. Their connection is no longer accidental. It's becoming something layered, something psychological. Patty is drawn to him in a way that raises more questions than answers. And Matt, instead of pushing her away, seems to be evaluating her presence like a calculated variable in a larger equation. Neither fully trusts the other. But neither fully rejects the possibility of what they could become together. And that uncertainty is where the real danger lives. Now everything comes down to this. Phyllis is pushing a high-risk deal. Nick is hiding under emotional pressure. Adam is closing in on the truth. Matt Clark is reshaping the environment just by existing. And Patty is becoming the unpredictable link between chaos and control. All of it is converging. All of it is tightening. And when Genoa City reaches this point, something always gives. A secret breaks. A relationship fractures. Or an alliance forms that nobody saw coming.